Have you been wanting to make collage paper for a really long time and you keep forgetting to get your jelly plate out, or it seems like too much work at the moment, or you're sick of your stencils and you're just not sure what else to do? Or maybe you've never made collage paper before and you want to make some with your jelly plate and you're just not sure where to start. Well, today's video is for you. I took my jelly plate out and just played for the first time in a long time. I had no agenda other than to make collage paper, but really more than that, I just wanted to make pretty things. So I took some paint, I took some different tools, I experimented a little bit. I got some gorgeous papers and I'm going to show you everything I used and everything I did to make those papers today. A quick personal update before we dive in. My self-paced course, Creative Wellness 101, is officially open. If you've been wanting to connect with your creativity in a way that's totally flexible, zero pressure, I made this for you. The link's below if you want to check it out. No rush. If you're seeing this right away, there is a special limited time bonus offer happening now. Let's get back to the jelly plate. All right, and when I say experimenting, I truly mean experimenting. I saw my woodies and thought, boy, I haven't used these for a while. I wonder if this does anything with the gel plate. So I turned on the camera and figured I would give it a shot and see what happened, and then you would know what happens if you do it as well. I really like playing with woodies. If you haven't used them before, they are so smooth. It's like drawing with butter. It's so nice. They're super smooth, super fun, and I don't use them nearly enough. I'm just trying to get some color down on the paper, and this is just regular, I think I used 80-pound paper. This is what Jane Davies calls cheap drawing paper. It's white sulfite paper from Blick. Nothing special. This is my scratch paper, but it holds up pretty well to all sorts of things. This is what I make my collage paper on almost exclusively if I'm not using tissue paper. All right, get ready for the great reveal. Wait till you see this. Just pushing it down, making sure it's covered. Oh, wait. Oh, it does nothing. Oh, goodness. I tried. I kept it in because I figure it's still information that you can have. And since this whole thing's about experimentation, I wanted to keep it real and let you know what's going on. Plus, I like my little drawing. And as I'm adding some colors, I got all my open paints out that you can see in the corner. Those are the ones that dry slowly and hardly use them at all. I ended up using all my Nova Color paints instead. So go figure. So I'm still using this drawing. It's still going to good use. One of the fun things about experimenting, probably the most fun thing about experimenting, is that even I don't know what's going to happen. So I'm just literally playing. Want to see what happens. Kind of fun, right? And you can see where the woodies were in the middle of my gel plate. You can see where it created a bit of a resist and the paint didn't get absorbed by the paper because of the crayon. So it is still there. The gel plate seems to be a great gateway tool if you're new to experimenting. If you are open to possibility and open to things getting a little crazy and being very unpredictable, a gel plate is an excellent way to practice that, because I think it almost always gives you some unexpected surprises. Sometimes you like those surprises, sometimes you don't. However, I really like the impact of layers and not cleaning off my gel plate in between layers, because see, that orange got picked up, the one that was resisted before. So it looks a little bit like some orange scribbles there. There's so much that can be done intentionally and unintentionally on the gel plate to get really, really unique designs. And part of the enjoyment for me using my gel plate are all those little surprises. Using a gel plate also gives me and you permission to have things be less than perfect. This is not a tool for perfection. It's not a tool for getting the perfect anything, because inevitably there'll be something that either got picked up that you didn't want to get picked up, or something that didn't get picked up that you wanted to get picked up. So it's an exercise and a tool to some extent about letting go. It's great for play's sake. And in case you didn't know or haven't realized it fully, any art that you make or any creativity that you use, the value's there whether you like what you made or not. I truly believe, from a wellness perspective, it's the act of creating that kind of refuels you and puts some more gas in the tank, if you will. It's the fact of no matter what you're making, you've made something that didn't exist before. How cool is that? You don't have to like everything you made or like every part of something that you made. And the cool thing about monoprinting, because you can, whoops, get a little extra paint on things sometimes. With monoprinting, you just get one print. That's it. You get one print. Sometimes you can do a ghost print, but that's not the same print. That's the inverse of the print. So every print you pull is one of a kind. Just like art, right? But this is art plus a little magic because of those imperfections and little surprises that join in. Plus, I don't know why I've never done this before with crayons, with my woodies. I've taken things that had crayon on them and done prints on them, but not all at the same time. And this is super fun. So I decided to do some kind of abstract face. Well, face adjacent. It looks a little elephant-like right now, but I'll stop judging myself. There's a reason I stick with abstract shapes, guys. If you haven't drawn with a crayon lately, or a pastel, or a woody, I highly recommend it. It is quite underrated. Painting is wonderful. So many things are wonderful. Drawing like a kindergartner with crayons, there's something about it that is just really taps into that childlike sense of anything's possible. Using quinacridone gold here. I still have some legacy quinacridone gold and some fluorescent red from Nova Color. Let's get some warm tones on here. The face is pretty cool colors. And for the most part, I'm using tissue paper today, but using some white paper here and there as well. All right, so you can see the resist now, how the crayon is still on the plate, just very faintly. And because I didn't roll off all the orange color off my brayer, it's turning into this creamsicle, slightly beige, creamy color. Going back to my tissue paper, even though this is white, there will still be some transparency based on two things. One, I'm using tissue paper, and two, I pulled the print pretty fast. I wish in hindsight I had left it a little bit longer. However, here we are. And I decided here to just go for it and see what happens if I drew directly on my gel plate with the woodies. And I'm still stuck on faces, apparently. So the last pull that I did not leave the tissue paper on the plate long enough, so there's still quite a bit of paint left over on the gel plate right now. So I'm definitely carving into some of that with my woody. I don't know why I was so excited about faces, but there you go. So right now I'm looking for something interesting to put this face on, or looking to make the pull itself a little bit more interesting. And I'm already thinking about ensuring that I leave it on the paper on the plate longer so that I get more paint in the pull. Just because I'm experimenting doesn't mean I can't learn lessons. And patience is one of those lessons I have to learn again and again. So it definitely worked better this time to transfer more of the paint. You can see that the woody pen or the woody marker is still showing up on my gel plate. That stays there for a while. So heads up, if you want to use it on your gel plate, you'll have some cleanup work to do at a different time. And you know, the print that I just pulled of that face is not my favorite print in the world, but that's okay because any single thing that I make can always be cut up and used as collage paper. And because I typically don't make faces, and it was kind of a big swing in terms of that, I can easily cut this up and it makes marks that I typically don't make because I typically don't draw these shapes in these combinations. So nothing is ever wasted. It's kind of like no act of kindness is ever wasted. There's no act of jelly plate that's ever wasted. You can always use it for collage. And that goes even if you get your paper stuck to the jelly plate, which I have done, and it like tears off, you can still use that for collage because I have done that in the past. All right, this is me adding more, doubling down on the woody stuck to my gel plate just to make it so it's not a face anymore. I'm exaggerating some of the marks just to break it up so it becomes more random and not the same face again and again and again. So for better or worse, I'm adding more woody. And I have a feeling that some of you are probably screaming at the screen right now because I know for a fact that many of you cringe when I do crazy things with my gel plate. But I promise it's okay. Everything will be okay. It's so fun to create things without caring about the outcome. Another reason I love jelly plates is because there's minimal effort to make each print. It doesn't take, 3 hours to set up and do 19 layers underneath and everything else. I am doing these things one-off, and each one is different. And if I don't like one, I just make another one. You can create so much volume with these paints on the gel plate so fast. Let me know in the comments if you'd like me to use these collage papers in some collages. If you'd like to see that in a video, that can be arranged. So let me know in the comments. And spoiler alert, this ended up being one of my favorite pulls of the day. The colors are super fun. It feels very, I don't know if tropical is the right word, but fun definitely is. This is my sweet spot. Lots of fun color. Pop a red somehow. And look at me. Look at this patience I'm displaying. So much patience. Oh, look how fun that is. It's so fun. That would totally be frameable if it wasn't on tissue paper. I could, right, glue it to paper, but it's so fun. I love it. This is my Blick Celadon, and I've had it for a very long time, so it's a little bit stubborn to come out. I liked making these stripes so much in the last one, I thought I would do some more. And I'll show you how easy it is to replicate things on the gel plate. Spoiler alert, it's not. I did something very similar. It turned out very different. Which again, if you make something you don't like, the next one will probably be very different. So hang in there. All of the offloading pages too that I'm using to wipe off my brayer, those also become excellent collage paper. So save those if they're cool. Most of the time I feel like they're pretty cool. Now that the faces are out of my system, I started thinking about landscapes and what kind of colors I would like to use and see if I could find some interesting textures along the way. It's quite hard to see here, but the last pull left some very tiny little, I don't know what to call them, like cracks of bright colors and greens. So I used white in the hopes that I could pick all those up. So it would be a white, but there would be some little surprises in there. I've done a lot of bright colors, a lot of light colors. I thought I would do something a little bit different. Bring in some phthalo green, the blue shade, and some more yellows. I'm really loving the yellows right now. This is a very green heavy pull. It's very satisfying too when the tissue paper gets kind of sucked into the gel plate paint. All right. My stripe season is ending now, and I'm going just for random smooshes of color. So when you come to my channel and I say it's an experiment, I promise you one thing. I have no plans. I'm not recreating anything that I've done before. I'm truly experimenting and just following whatever feels good. Very process art here. And I'm having a blast. Because when you make so many things at once, it's a lot easier to become less attached to each one. And the less attached you can be, the more fun you can have, because the more freedom you have just to purely experiment and enjoy. I'm intentionally not mixing the colors to be one uniform color. It's hopefully pretty obvious. But look at that. Like, those are all the random marks that I couldn't plan. And up in that corner right there, I've got some of that teal poking through from a previous pull. Those are little surprises that, oh, I love them. All right, I've done lots of bright. Done some green, done some stripes. Moving into some Payne's gray now. I need a darker value. Not a super thick coat, but that's okay because this will be able to be stackable. I want to do collages using these tissue papers. There's a level of transparency where you can blend different colors together. You can have textures show up from underneath. So this will just give it a little bit more transparency. And that's picking up some of the oranges and reds from the previous pull. Those wrinkles too in the paper, those are also really cool, unique marks. And there's the woody. It's still there. And now for something completely different. I wanted to see if I can get like a painterly technique or a painterly texture to show up. Easiest way to do that, grab a paintbrush, just paint on there. The only factor here is that I'm not using open paints and I need to move very quickly. I'm trying to have it not dry on me while I'm spending the time. It's funny how I'm getting looser and looser the longer I work on these. So when I started off, I did not intend to use a paintbrush and paint on here. But because I've done the other iterations and seen the different surprises that happen, now all of a sudden the ideas are coming quicker, I'm getting more free. You really don't need to plan when you start with a gel plate. You just need some curiosity and follow where that leads you. I did let all those the painted lines dry, the painted area, before I added this white, because I noticed that much of the paint was already drying before I was able to finish filling the plate. I didn't want to have a half pull, so I waited till that was dry, added some white, dried the white with the tissue paper on it, and then was able to pull out a pretty cool print. All right, I have a couple more prints for you. You can't see this, but when I pulled that up, there were lots of little fluorescent red and yellow crackles, teeny tiny lines. And I wanted to capture those someplace where they wouldn't get lost. So I thought I would bring out my Titan Green Pale, and try to pull all of that goodness up. So because it's a uniform background, my thought is that all those little bits of color will stand out even more and just pop. And I think I'm right. Look at that dramatic pull action. It doesn't look like much on here, but in the right conditions, that will look awesome somewhere. A little bit more Payne's gray. And a little more Payne's gray. Some more phthalo green. This looks almost tie-dye to me. Wanted to get a darker value again because so much of the things I'm making are kind of mid-tone to light. I realized that my old paint water had completely dried up, so I had to add a little water there so that brush didn't dry up. All right, last pull of this video. Doesn't look so satisfying. That's what I have for you today. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see me make a collage with all of these papers. And don't forget to check out Creative Wellness 101.